Yo, what's going on, guys? Lance Edgel here. You know what's good. Anyway, guys, so we're going to a roll event next weekend. So not this weekend, the coming weekend. So we've got to get this bad girl a bit ready. So hopefully we want to get a tune for E85. So I've got a few things that I need to put in her just before we can run E85, like a pump, a Z32 airflow meter, because she maxed out the stock one not too long ago on her last tune. And just a few other things, but something's been bothering me for a while. The brakes have really been a really bad brake shutter in them, so we're gonna get into whipping the wheels off and just getting them machined and going to purchase some new pads. So hopefully, like, we're just looking at like moderate performance gains, nothing too serious. But yeah, so I'm just gonna jack the car up and we'll get stuck into it. So I'll catch you in the next one. So anyway, guys, the car has been jacked up just on these because rear wheel drive. Just jack it up on the rear diff. Wheels off. There's an axle stand under there. So here we have the caliper. So on the back of the R33s, these are a 2-pot caliper. So you got one caliper, one piston in there, and one piston in the front. So I find the best way, because these are a bit warped, I'm actually going to take the hard line that runs to the caliper off, just back there, so as to not snap it or anything. Eventually I'll get braided lines for here, but at the moment just trying to get her up and running and get her ready for the coming weekend. So I'll get stuck into this and I'll catch you once they're off. Alright, guys. So as you can see, disc is off. Didn't take too long. There's the caliper up there, just about to cable tie it just so it doesn't fall, but it's pretty secure up there. As you can see, here are the two pads. They're not too bad. They're in really good nick. I just don't know what they are, what brand or whatever. So I'm just gonna change them anyway. And it's just good once you like get a disc machined that you just go new discs anyway, just to get it a thing. You can't really pick it up on the camera, but it has got a little bit of warpage. I can feel it with my hand. So yeah, that's that one off. I'm just gonna go get the other side and then I'll cut to when I'm getting the front up. All right, I'll catch you in a bit. Open up. Alright, guys, we're back. It's a few days later. I just had to really rush and get the brakes off and get the discs machined because I had to do it within a certain amount of time. So, but I'll go into a lot more detail putting these back on, which is pretty much the same as taking them off. I'll just go into a lot of detail and show you just some of the tricks and stuff. As you can see, they're a bit dirty and greasy, so I'm just going to go over them with some brake clean right now. And then next thing you'll see is me trying to put them on. Anyway, guys, we are back. So the discs is on. So the caliper is, we've got like the pads and stuff, and we've got these things right here. So these act as like, these push on, hold on, get this up a bit. These push on this, which keep the calipers in place. Like that's sort of like their own locking mechanism. So I can't really film like a time lapse, so I'm just going to film it in parts. So I'm going to whack this on and push these in, and then once that's in, I'll jump to that and I'll show you what I've got to do after that. Alright, guys, the brake calipers are back on. So all it is just at the back here, there's one bolt there and just another one down the bottom. And then you have these here, which can unscrew with a Phillips head, or just tapping them at the back of here with a little bit of a hammer. And this is just sort of acts like spring loaded. So all it is the pads have holes just here and here. You run these like screws through them and make sure that this is pushing against them just to hold the pads in against the 2-pot calipers, and then just bolt it up to the back and just make sure everything's not binding or whatever. So that's the rears. I'm going to jump onto the fronts, get the tires back on, and then we'll see if everything's working well. Alright, guys, so we're just onto the front calipers now. Same sort of deal, just that bolt just round that's ring spacer sort of thing. That's just one there, and then just one down the bottom as well. We disconnected the fitting, so we're just going to screw that in, and then I'm going to show you guys once the other one's on how to bleed the brakes. I just kept this little pad out just to show you guys. So we're going to run a little screw through here, and it's going to go through this one over there as well, and then through the other side of the caliper, and then just using a spring just to kind of hold it in place. So I'm going to get this one back together, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright guys, so that's pretty much everything back together. We're just about to put this in, so once that's in on the other side, we're just going to start bleeding them. But pretty much, like I said, these pins go in and push this onto it, so to actually stop the pads from falling out. And then this is kind of just like a split pin sort of thing. It just slides into there, and around the back the pins have little holes in them just to give it that little bit of extra security so it won't come out. So I'll get the other one done, and then we'll start bleeding these brakes. Front calipers back on, so that's all of them back together. So I have my main man Pod Boy, you can see him right there in the car. So I'm going to just show you guys how to bleed your brakes. So what I'm going to get him to do is he's going to pump it 10 times. I'm going to release this nipple right here, and go down just into this canister right here, and you're going to watch to see if there's any air bubbles or anything like that. You also just want to make sure that the reservoir is like keep topped up, because if it's empty then you will get air in the system no matter what. So just always keep an eye on that. So I'll get Pod Boy to just pump a few times, buddy. How's the pedal feel, man? Firm now? Okay, just hold. So you want to get them to hold. You're just going to crack the nipple open a bit, and you're going to watch all that air come out of that. So you don't want any of that. You want to do that as many times as you need. Some cars require more than others, but you just pretty much want to make sure there's no air in the system. So I'm going to get him to do this a couple more times, and then we'll see how the car goes. All right, too easy. Alright, so we're back here with another car, guys. This is my main man, Pod Boy's XR6. So we did a lot of work for him back in the day. We got some T3 rotors and T2 rotors, and Pod Boy, you reckon they hold up alright? Do you like them? Like them a lot more over factory?
Yeah, you don't get any warping.
Yeah, good stuff, man. So we're just gonna do the pads on this one. So this is just so of course an Australian car. We're just gonna give you a different perspective. About the same size brakes as the Skyline, but just a different show of things, and just to really show you another job of just a brake and just give you a better understanding. So anyway, we've got the wheels off. We're just going to get stuck into the front ones. So I'm going to put a bit of a breakdown on it, and then go to the back ones. All right, catch you guys in a minute. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got a C-clamp just there, so it's just on the back of it right there. So that's how I like to do it. So you pretty much, I mean, because it's a two-pot piston, I just like do like a few turns on the top, then move over to the bottom bit right here. So just thought I'd explain that. Just when you saw in that video just then, just put a bit of brake clean, just clean up the pistons and stuff like that, just to make everything move smoothly and make sure dust doesn't get anywhere. So I'm just going to push these pistons back, put a bit of anti-seize on the brake pads. I like to scuff the brake pads up, that you'll see in a minute, like as I'm doing them, just to get rid of any film or anything that would be on there, the grease or anything. Just they might put something on the compound that makes the brake pads not rust or anything like that. So I'm gonna get back into this. So we're out here again. We're just pretty much gonna do the exact same thing we did last time on the Skyline. So all he's gonna do is the main man Pods up in the driver's seat. He's gonna push the brake pedal a couple of times. So just go ahead and do that, Pod Boy. All right, hold it down. Yeah. So once you crack the nipple, you just want to, like always, just want to check to make sure there's no air bubbles. So we're going to get this, and then we'll jump with it when we're taking it for a test drive. Alright guys, so it's a bit dark in here, that's the best we can do. So we're just going to go through some procedures that we might go through when you've just put in new brakes. So pretty much we've got the main man pod boy here. What we're going to do is we're just going to go to about 20 kilometers an hour, just make sure the brakes really work. The last thing you want to do is put a new set of brakes in or whatever it might be and they don't work and you just go flying down the highway and you can't stop. So that's what we're going to do right now. So pod boy, if you will. And also while we're doing this, we're making sure that for instance, we haven't put brake pads in the wrong way. Make sure that we don't just all of a sudden, maybe one of the nipples come loose or we lose all the fluid, or we're just looking for anything that's out of the regular and anything that we might, have done wrong, or a bolt we haven't put in properly. So how's that feel, pod boy?
It feels good.
Yeah. So that's it. We did 2 brake jobs today, so we're just gonna go around, make sure that everything's going well, make sure that everything locks up and stuff. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. Alright, so like I said guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. So as I showed, that was 2 different brake jobs. Like I said, on my car it was really bad brake shutter because the discs were warped and stuff. So we showed you a bit of footage of the discs getting machined and all that jazz. So the discs feel fantastic now. Definitely gives me a bit more confidence when I push down the pedal. The same thing used to happen on Pod Boy's XR. For some reason, the stock discs that come on the Australian Ford Falcons over here really just warp really bad, like terrible brake shutter. So recommend, if they haven't already been changed, I don't know about the very newer ones, but definitely the BA models were quite bad for brake shutter. So like I said in this video, the next video is going to be about me installing a Z32 airflow meter, a Walbro 460 pump, and 740cc injectors. So stay tuned for that. And then the next episode, hopefully, will be us getting it tuned on E85. So showing you us loading it up on a trailer and getting it down to check it. So anyway, stay tuned for that guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So take it easy.